the middle of the Bronx. We are here for Game 7. The Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees. The winner of this game goes on to the World Series.
What's up, everybody? This is Pat. We got our special guest Spence and Gooks, episode 23, the Jordan episode of the Baystate Sports Podcast. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it. Season 3, BSP Takeover. Let's ride. First thing we're going to talk about, of course, we're going to put the Boston Red Sox to bed. The season ended. MLB playoffs are a really exciting thing we could break into a little bit. But first, for the Red Sox 23 season, missed the playoffs, unfortunately. Historically bad defense. Third overall in errors, but ranked the worst defense in baseball.
Yep.
How do you feel? We made it. It's over.
Yeah, it was a tough season all throughout the season, particularly the end of the season. The end of the season, it was just
brutal.
Around every corner, it was just another disappointment, I guess you could say, which is kind of carrying through to Patriots, which we'll talk about later. But it's just this whole season's just been such a the Red Sox season just seemed like a let's get this over with from the beginning. From the beginning of this season, it's been, all right, how do we get our way? Let's just get through the season. We'll figure it out after. We'll put some like Band-Aids on things, and hopefully they stick. And then all the Band-Aids fell off in like the first week of the season, and then we were just hoping the season was over from day one, which is tough because we had a fairly decent team, but it didn't really seem like anyone was actually invested. And that was attributed to Mr. Heimblum, who's no longer on the team. So,
yeah. In a lot of ways, it feels like you said they're very similar to another New England team we all know and love.
Still love.
But yeah, it just feels like you entered the season, you were betting on a lot of things that had to turn up right, and they just didn't really show up when you needed them to, and consistently that stayed how it was. Hopefully, another team can not have a similar long-term season, but
yeah,
you know, we can all wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, Pat, you were talking about September 1st. I think they went 4-17.
Yep.
In the whole month. Atrocious.
Yep.
You know, you had problems with the starting rotation the whole year, but the biggest problem was the defense. I mean, the notion to roll with Hernandez as your shortstop and Arroyo in second and Yoshida in left. Duran, love the kid. He's one of the bright spots on the season.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's one of the worst ranked center fielders in the field. All of them were. All of them. Even Casas, my favorite player. One of the worst. Rafi Devers, second worst at third. All of them were the worst ranked defenders in their positions. Bloom was going by scouting numbers, scouting batting averages over players, and it just got too far in one way where the optics fell to the ground when the Red Sox didn't make a move at the trade deadline, and then they missed the postseason because of it. 3 last place finishes in the last 4 years.
And that was
does not fly here.
Yep, nope.
Does not fly.
In Boston. You can do that in a lot of other places.
Tampa.
Yep.
Baltimore.
Yep.
And Toronto. You can do it there. And the team will make the wild card, and that'll be their World Series.
Yeah, that's good enough for them. But we're not just going for the wild card or the first round of playoffs. We're going for...
We're trying to win World Series.
It's a dynasty.
Yeah.
It's just Boston sports culture.
It's one of the biggest markets for baseball. It could be the biggest going into this offseason if big moves happen. Teasing it right now, the Shohei rumors grow. Could be the biggest star in the city.
Yep.
That could fix the Red Sox, but alas, right now Bloom is gone. They fired Dave Bush, their pitching coach, and Carlos Feebles, their third base coach. Both those guys sucked. And Bloom, obviously, was not serious about building a contender.
No.
We're hoping. We want to see what happens with the new GM, whether it's going to be a guy in Cora's camp, because Cora runs the show. Cora's not going anywhere.
Yep.
You want to see who the big free agents are going to go. They're going to go get. They have to go get pitching.
Yep.
And they have to go get
badly.
Yeah,
particularly starting pitching.
Yes, definitely starting pitching. You have to move. You have an arsenal of bullpen weapons that can go 3+ innings. Murphy, Winkowski. You have Martin, who's a great pitcher too. Like they have the best bullpen in the league. Move some of those guys. Some of the prospects that you don't love, move them. Go get legit starting pitching. Corbin Burns, Shane Bieber are the guys that I'm looking at.
I would love Shane Bieber. I've liked Shane Bieber every time I see him. It always just seems like his confidence is kind of what this team needs. I feel like, because I feel like a lot of the starting pitchers, they come out there and their confidence just isn't where it should be. I don't know if that's part of the fact that everyone else stinks.
Yeah.
But, there's been so much transition. Like, you look at, a Nick Pivetta, and he gets moved into the bullpen, he gets moved all around, and then all of a sudden he's a starting pitcher again, but no one believes in him, so his confidence is down. So if you get a guy like a Shane Bieber or someone along those lines, I feel like the confidence throughout the, bullpen will be higher.
And I'm confident that he would want to re-sign in Boston.
Yeah,
I've heard that he wanted to, and also he was a Cy Young candidate before he got hurt. He's a legit talent in Cleveland. A lot like Luis Castillo, who I wanted, if you remember, a year ago. There's pitchers to get. Of course, the other name they're connected to is Yamamoto in Japan.
Yep.
There are massive amount of teams bargaining for him and his services this offseason. You got the likes of the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs. All these guys are going to throw a bag of fortune to get him. Now, the plus side of having Yoshida is he's a big negotiator or recruiter for this. If you had to pick to give the big contract to, are you going Yamamoto, who is the superstar pitching phenom, we need pitching, or Shohei, who just got injured, but when he's healthy, he's the greatest player in history?
Yeah, I think the logic, or the knee-jerk reaction to that is you kind of have to go Shohei, because he's the best player that the MLB has seen since Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
So, you kind of got to go Shohei. You worry about the injuries, but I think you can kind of put that aside. And the way this team is now, I feel like you could at least, build... you're not going to be, a World Series caliber team next year. Unless you make a ton of moves and spend a ton of money, which I don't see this club doing without a GM. So if you get a guy like Shohei, and John Henry somehow has a stroke and figures out that he needs to spend a ton of money to make this team more money, Which, by the way, he sold a portion of his stake in Liverpool. So hopefully that means more money coming back to us.
To the Red Sox, yeah.
But you never know. So
I do have to agree on going with Shohei. I mean, realistically, after several bad seasons, you can't really say, like he said, you're looking to turn it around next year and go all the way. Like, if at this point you're just looking to build at all, get a foundation that we can move on for years to come.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is ground zero. Like,
Yeah.
I keep talking about the Patriots, like, it can't get worse. It gets worse.
Yeah,
it does.
It does. Every week. We'll get to that.
Right now, the Red Sox are at the bottom of the barrel. The optics just got too bad that Bloom could not go another day.
No.
The fans were fed up and they were done with it. And the Red Sox are going to hear it again at Winter Weekend.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to hear it again. But I am definitely in the Ohtani camp. I've seen it with Dice K when the superstar phenom Japanese pitcher comes over. The workload is too much. They burn out their arm, and they're gone. I know Shohei's been injured, but he's been around this before. You know, I would give him the contract, and he's expected to pitch in 25, and then you go get Bieber and Burns. Going all out to win the World Series next season would mean moving Marcelo Meyer, which I don't know if they're willing to do that right now because he was projected number 1 overall. They got him at 4.
And I also don't blame them for not going all out next season. I know as a Boston sports fan, we should be like, oh, whatever, do it all for the thing right now. But if you look at the longevity of it, I'd rather have a good team for a long time than one shot.
Yeah.
Like you look at, oh, by the way, we have the Celtics over here and the Bruins over here, so if you see us wandering around, that's what we're looking at.
Reaction.
But you look at the Celtics, and we'll get more into this later with a lot of the moves they made. It's kind of looking like a short-term thing, but I mean, you also have Jason Tatum for the next 6 years after he resigns, and who's the owner there, Wick Grossbeck, came out and said we have a 6-year plan. And we plan on doing this for 6 years, which would be Jason and Jalen's contract.
Yeah.
So, they have a long-term plan. I'm not worried about them at all because they're the brightest part of Boston sports right now. But I think with the Red Sox, you got to emulate that and build around some really good guys like other teams that, like, say, the Rangers or teams like that. You're going to build around and just make that team solid for a long period of time because there's a lot of other teams in our division doing the same things. You can look at the Baltimore Orioles. Granted, they just got their butt kicked.
Behinds whooped.
Yeah, by the Texans last night. You can look at the Tampa Bay Rays, who have been very good for the last couple of years. You can look at the Yankees, who did the opposite of what I was saying. They were trying to do it, but it all just blew up because everyone's getting old on that team. They had their window, they missed it. I think the move here is longevity, which kind of counteracts the Ohtani take. Because Ohtani's still young. I think he can still do his thing for a while. And if you're willing to, like, just have him hit next year and be a DH next year, fine, whatever. I think you can get away with that. Granted, you have, like, 6 other players that are also supposed to be DHing next year, and you can only have, like, 1 or 2 DH. So, I mean, I don't know what you're going to do with that. But I think that would be a good case for Yamamoto. Yamamoto is that he's young.
Yeah. 24, I think.
So you have him for a long time. So it's going to be a tough decision for whoever the GM is. The ideal situation is, why not both?
Yeah, right.
Why not both is because that's $1 billion and both those guys probably around. And that's like 600 going to Shohei. So
yeah,
that's a lot of money going to the 2 pitchers, and then the rest of your team is like dead. So
yeah,
it should be interesting to see what they do there.
Yeah, so we'll see. I guess we can close out for the Red Sox. As of now, we're on Shohei watch. Want to see what happens there. Also, the next GM, who's it going to be? Cora runs the show.
Yep.
Which is wild. The GM is underneath the coach in this situation. And, I mean, I'm for it. I think Cora, in the right market, where the team is serious about winning a World Series, he makes the game time decisions.
Yes.
That can win you those games.
Yes, I think he has the capacity to do that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he is, like, legit. He's one of the best managers you could ask for. But he just needs a GM that can match that urgency.
Agreed.
I think now we can move on to the big story of the city these days is the downfall of the Patriots and the crumbling structure that is just the team and where they're at. The two of the worst losses they've ever had in the last 20 years. The worst loss of Bill Belichick's career against Dallas, followed by what really looked like an even worse loss because you were supposed to wake up. That was supposed to be the slap in the face was Dallas. Get a grip. And then they came out looking terrible.
I really feel like if anything shows the state of New England falling apart right now, it would be the story of Jacoby Myers and letting him go.
He's been going
free agency.
Oh, yeah, especially
And then Bill Belichick coming out recently going, oh, we were really close in a deal with him. We had him as a top priority, but we just didn't get him. And then Jacoby just comes back with, what are you talking about?
yeah,
He signed for the same money
as Juju, who was injured and awful.
in Vegas.
Yep.
Signed for the same money.
Yep.
And then you just look at how Belichick talks about Myers versus Mac Jones. Belichick, quoted today, I was listening to it, was saying, sometimes you lose people in free agency. Classic. Blunt Bill. And then Mac Jones. I love Jacoby Myers. I still text him. I still keep in touch. I really hate that we lost him.
Yeah.
I think we should take a quick break.
Quick fixing the background.
Fix our
break.
screen real quick.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
We're back. It's fun to be back.
It's nice to be back.
It is good to be back.
It's so good to be.
It's
You know it's not back?
We are so back.
well, the Patriots aren't.
Neither is Jacoby Myers.
Nope, Jacoby Myers is still in Las Vegas, even though he's best friends with Matt.
It would be so nice to have him back.
It's a wild take. It would be a fun, wild take to say. Let's trade Mac Jones for Jimmy Garoppolo. Get Jimmy over here. Get Mac back with Jacoby.
Yeah.
And there you go.
The only reason Vegas does that trade
Yeah.
is because of how dumb Josh McDaniels is.
Yeah, exactly. that's my point.
Like, the Las Vegas Raiders, with the amount of talent on their roster, should not be bottom feeding the way they do in the AFC and the West.
But they have been.
But they have been, because they're so dumb. Staley and McDaniels, just wow.
Bill can go and be like,
Never mind Sean Payton.
here's my young quarterback. We're tanking. Give us Jimmy Garoppolo. And then they're going to be like, okay, Bill Belichick's tanking. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though Bill Belichick would... I don't know if Bill would ever purposely tank. I think he's... I'm wondering if he is. But I don't think he is.
If he's starting Mac Jones, that could be purposely tanking.
Well, I think starting Mac Jones this year... And
next week.
No. Like every game this season, no matter how he plays.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And this is shouts out Nick. This is your take. Which really made me think about it. I think Mac Jones starts every single game this season. Yeah. Because I think they can go to Mac Jones at the end of the season and go, you started every game this season.
Yeah.
We gave you your offensive coordinator, and you scored 3 touchdowns all season. What do you want from us? You know what I mean? And I think at the same time, Bill's going, you know what? If we score 3 touchdowns all season, of course we're going to lose every game. We're going to get a good pick and call it a day. But I don't think that's how Bill thinks. I think he still wants to win. But based off these last couple of games, I just don't know there's any better options than Mac Jones right now.
I think Mac.
Like, who's a better option?
Mac is the best you got right now.
Well, I
Very
like
correct.
Cunningham, but he's too green. But
Yeah.
continue.
But yeah, I feel like Mac's the best thing you got right now. I don't think he's pretty bad, but like while the turnovers on offense have been egregious, I don't think it's all Mac's fault. Like,
No, agreed.
a lot of our wide receivers just aren't making any gap, or they're just having terrible drops or fumbles that just shouldn't happen for any reason. Like, ball security seems to be almost one of our number one issues at this point, which is crazy in a New England team.
Bill O'Brien did come out and say that too. He said we need, and like passionately came out and said that because they asked him about Mac Jones, and they were like, I don't know what reporter said it, but they asked him about Mac Jones, and they were like, what do we do with? Or is Mac Jones starting? He's like, yeah, Mac Jones is starting, and I don't think he's the entire problem. It's ball security. We're dropping the ball, and we can't hang on to the ball. We need to take care of the ball, and the receiver spot, like you were saying. But I think the big thing is we need to give Mac time to throw the ball. Mac is a calculated thrower, and he'll make the throw, but he needs a second to think, like he's not going to scramble outside the pocket like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or those guys because he's just not them. He's not that good. I mean, I think he's a solid quarterback if you give him enough time to think about the pass and make the pass. But I think our offensive line is so goddamn... I mean, the star on your offensive line is like 85-year-old Trent Brown. So, like...
Mafi's getting penalties every
left
week.
and right.
Oh my god.
And I thought dumping Isaiah Wynn was
A win.
a win. But when it comes to Mac Jones, I think he's broken.
Yeah.
I think after all of last year and now this, I think mentally he's broken, and sitting him down for a week actually could help him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys are raising amazing points. I mean, with the injuries in the cornerback room, you have Miles Bryant, who is trying to run corner. He is a traffic cone in the backfield.
Yep.
You have Trent Brown, who is a turnstile at left tackle.
Yeah, he's
like,
terrible. Yeah.
And they still don't have a right tackle.
No.
And they still don't have a free safety.
Yeah.
This team,
They have a free safety, but he's out of position and like 85 years old as well.
it is a hot mess.
It's egregious.
It is a hot mess. Now, of course, Bill Belichick drafted Christian Gonzalez at number 17, who looks like the best player in the draft.
And of course, he's out for the season.
He's out for the season, but people calling for Bill's head right now, he made that draft.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Actually, do you want to finish your point?
Well,
Yeah, finish your point.
my main point was Stevenson's taking a step back. I expect more from him, even with the terrible line.
Yeah.
Their line was bad last year, and he was way better.
Yeah.
And he has Zeke now taking carries as well. That should help Ramondre a lot.
Agreed.
I think the loss of Myers and switch with Juju. Juju is not even a third of what Myers was.
No, Juju sucks.
And I think that hurts Ramondre a lot. But honestly, Mike Gesicki has been pedestrian, and Hunter Henry is legitimately the only target they have. I just give the ball to Pop Douglas because he makes plays.
Oh, he's been
That's
fantastic.
it. That's all you can do.
Pop Hunter Henry, and then if like Bourne doesn't drop the ball, then Bourne.
Yeah, I'm still
If he,
not
like,
happy
puts-
with Bourne.
If he puts
Bourne,
glue on his
I want
gloves.
Bourne to be better.
But
Yeah.
I am so annoyed with what he's
Has
done.
Parker been
I
even
feel like
playing?
Bourne-
He hasn't done
Devontae Parker has been pedestrian.
Yeah.
Like, almost as bad as Juju.
I feel like Bourne and Mac are in a similar boat where they're just broken players. Last season was terrible for both of them in so many ways. And I think a lot of ways you can see it on both of them now. They're just not like as good as Mac's rookie season was. It looked nice. It was promising for a future. And then
in the
all of a
Pro
sudden-
Bowl.
Yeah, he was a Pro Bowl player. Like, it was crazy. And then, but now this season it feels like he's almost forgotten, like, key parts of being a quarterback. He can't even, like, learn to throw the ball away. One of the key things, like,
He's forcing plays.
It's awful.
Mhm.
And he's throwing it right, like the Devontae Parker against, I think it was Miami. Devontae Parker's getting checked out of bounds, and Mac Jones is still trying to make the throw when I forget who the corner was, but it was no Devontae Parker.
Howard?
It might have been. I wrote about it.
Yeah.
But he's there. You can't even see Parker if you're Mac, and he's throwing it in there.
Yeah.
Egregious, but you had a point.
So, with the Bill Belichick take,
About Belichick.
I'm getting real sick of seeing it. Well, you know what it is? I'm not even seeing it online. It's WEEI and everyone who calls in calling for
his
Bill Belichick's head. What is wrong with you? I get it.
You're upset.
You're upset. And you don't really know why all of this is going on. Why all of this is going on is because Tom Brady left and we're completely rebuilding the team. And we are not doing it the right way. Which, yes, comes down to Bill Belichick. But it's not like you can just go out and go buy every single good player and be like, yep, we're good. Because you still have question marks at quarterback. Like look at it from Bill's side. Sure, Bill could go out and go, okay, let's go get every free agent who's an offensive lineman and beef up that line. What you should do, and what New England expects, because we expect to keep winning, keep making the playoffs, especially after we made it to the playoffs and play against the Bills, which just killed us for some reason. But I do think Bill needs to put more money into this team, and because he's the GM too. He does both. He's the coach and the GM for everyone watching or listening who doesn't know. So that's why people are calling for his head, because he didn't do anything. But at the same time, it's yes, should he have gone out and gotten better offensive linemen and re-signed Jacoby Myers and done all these things? Absolutely, 100%. Don't blame me for being mad at that at all. But you got to remember, I understand Tom Brady is the greatest player of all time, but Bill Belichick was still calling plays for Tom Brady, and that defense wasn't the Chargers' defense.
Yeah, that defense was nothing to scoff
where
at.
you gave up 40-something points a game and lost by 5. You know what I mean? Like, Tom Brady's, it's a football game. Every player will say it's a team game. There's no one guy, unless you're like Antonio Brown, who's like, oh, I win games, I win everything. But he has CT out the wazoo, so of course you can't listen to him. But I think Bill Belichick is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place with this franchise now. Because I think what his biggest issue is what do I invest in this team? Do I invest in a line, or do I in Mac Jones's success, or am I waiting for someone better and then just throw a bag at that quarterback and say, play for us?
Yeah.
Or throw a bag at that receiver and say, play for us. I don't think it's receiver, obviously, because we tried to do that in this offseason with DeAndre Hopkins. Granted, he had a couple of caveats with him that I don't know would have worked very well in Bill Belichick's idea. But I don't think you can fire Bill Belichick right now. I don't think that's the solution. I think if he does this for another year or two,
then you talk about that.
then we start talking about this. Last year, we really weren't that bad.
No.
We weren't good. We weren't up to New England standards. Don't get me wrong.
No, we were competing for the last
We were
playoff.
a little above 500.
In the last week
Yeah.
of the regular season, we were competing for the last wild card spot.
Yeah.
In the last week.
Yeah.
We were still in there.
We were still in it. This season is an abomination.
You're one of the worst teams.
Don't get me wrong.
Bottom 3.
Also, we're only in week 5.
That's true.
So anything can happen with the rest of this season. It doesn't look good. I'm not saying it looks good.
I don't think they can win 7 games.
No, I don't think so either. But I think at the same time, I think this is where Bill's taking a step back and going, what does this team actually need? Unfortunately, it sucks because we're losing games in horrible fashion because of it. But I don't think that this is the season where you get to say, get rid of Bill Belichick, because he had the same crappy team last year if not crappier team, with worse assistant coaches. I think Bill O'Brien's not doing a bad job. I just don't think Mac has the time to do the plays that Bill O'Brien's coming up with. Also, it's his first year back in New England as a head assistant coach, so that doesn't help you either. But I don't think this year is the year to say fire Bill, nor do I think Robert Kraft is ever going to fire Bill, no matter what happens. But I hate when people are coming in and being like, Bill Belichick is up. Like I heard a call yesterday that EEI posted on their Instagram, and some guy calls in and goes, you know what? We're calling for Bill Belichick's head. I hope he leaves and goes to another team so I can root against that team and watch his downfall. Like, you moron.
You're a Patriots fan.
You're a
I really
Patriots
think
fan.
it's... Well, when you look at it, though, you see so many fans who have... I feel like I haven't seen this because I'm younger, but so many fans see it where they enter this dynasty after so long of the Patriots being kind of stuck in mediocrity and making the Super Bowl once, but not really making it, eking it out, to all of a sudden you have this new quarterback that's just breaking all the records, and your coach is just showing up. But then all of a sudden you take away one of those variables, and it's just like, oh, the team's losing or not doing as well as they were. So everyone's just obviously looking at the variable that's left, and they're like, it's not actually helping. It's clearly actually hurting. When really we just want a scapegoat. We feel bad because the team is just terrible.
And you need a reason to feel bad. And right now, the only person you can point to is either Mac Jones or Bill Belichick.
And my take is that Bill is the scapegoat. I've been trying to say this forever. I've been wondering if Robert Kraft is holding back the wallet. I think the whole Lamar Jackson thing, if they really were going to go out and get him and Kraft was telling him, I'm willing to pay it, they would have got him. They would have got him because there's no way that they looked at the roster they had and really thought, yeah, Hunter Henry's going to be flying. Trent Brown is going to own that line. Ramondre Stevenson, Ezekiel Elliott, Mike Gesicki, Juju Smith-Schuster, they're going to go crazy. No, the only way this team would be a contender would be with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, 100%. And
the Ravens got him on, like, 4-year deal. Get him right to 30, and then you're done with him. Perfect.
That's exactly what we talked about this.
Yes, we did.
Get him on a 4-year deal, and then you're done.
Yes. That playmaker actually could elevate this team instead of like trying to do what San Francisco does, which is build around the QB. You just put the QB in and let him work.
Granted, San Francisco has a very good quarterback.
I know, but Mac Jones would be killing it there too. I think.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I don't think he'd beat Brock Purdy, but I think he'd still be very good over there. 100%.
But I mean, Bill is not just like.
How would you not be?
He's not exempt from all the blame because, I mean, you look at the Aguilar contract, the Jonnu Smith contract, the Isaiah Wynn extension, the Juju, of course, and then just, I'm not going to keep delving, but it goes on and on. N'Keal Harry, of course. That's all in the past. These things happen. All I can say is he saved his job when he drafted Christian Gonzalez. I don't think you can look at Belichick and call for his head right now because of that pick. I think you should have took a tackle in the second round. I'm worried about Tyquan Thornton. This is a huge week for Thornton.
Yeah, he's coming back this week.
He is playing this week. Yeah. He's your round 2 wide receiver pick. He is your last hope.
He really is.
In this season. You haven't had Thornton, who could be the wide receiver 1.
So, the interesting thing about this Patriots team right now is it's kind of very similar to the Red Sox.
It's
if you think about
it, the defense and offense switched.
No, not even that. I mean, yes, but no.
Historically bad offense, historically bad defense.
I mean, yes, but we're not talking about that right now. You kind of look at it the way the team's built because who are the upsides on this team, right? Christian Gonzalez.
Yep.
Probably.
Keon White.
If he stayed healthy, Christian Gonzalez had a run 100%, almost had Rookie of the Year
and
locked up,
overall.
and he was in the Defensive Player of the Year running.
Oh yeah.
And he played, 3 games? And he played 3 games, locked up 3 of the best players in the league, and didn't get a single foul called on him.
Hill,
That's insane.
Brown, Smith, and Waddle.
Literally
the best competition you can ask for.
Yeah. And he didn't get a single foul called on him. And
this week he'd play Adams.
Yeah. So
sad.
But that's young talent, right?
Oh, it's
young talent there.
Pure talent.
Mac Jones, say what you want about him. He made the Pro Bowl in his first year, so he might be young talent. I don't think he's going to be any better than Kirk Cousins is.
I think he's broken here though.
I don't think he can.
Issue.
I don't think he can stay here. But just on my point of young talent,
Definitely.
Yeah.
You have
his career's not over.
Cole Strange, who's been injured.
Yeah, that's another injury.
Another young talent.
Mm.
You have Pop Douglas, another young talent. You have Ramondre Stevens, another young talent, and you have Tyquan Thornton, who's another young talent.
Yeah.
So you're banking on a kind of what I was talking about earlier is the future. You're kind of getting ready for the future, and I think this is my hopeful side. I've been trying to figure out something hopeful all week. That's why my Patriots recap is taking so long to come out, because I've been trying to think of something positive to say. But I think that what's going on with this team is not let's tank. I think it's let's develop this young talent, see what works. I mean, it sucks when you're Mac Jones because this reflects your entire career. So he's working for a contract, similar to Peyton Pritchard, right?
Yeah.
So Peyton Pritchard was 4th string point guard last year, and he was like, "What the hell, put me in?"
Especially with all that depth.
Yeah, with all that depth, he was like, "What the hell, put me in?" I'm trying to make my bag, right? So Mac Jones is like, "What the hell? I'm a good quarterback. I know I am. I made the Pro Bowl first year. I was having fun. I was smiling. Give me the weapons. Let's do this right now."
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick's like, "I don't give a shit about you. I'm looking at the future," which is good for us, bad for him.
I'm not.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of banking on this team continuing to get young talent and building it up throughout the years. Is what I think is going on. Obviously, I have no way to confirm that because God even knows if Bill Belichick tells his wife, girlfriend, whoever's with this point, what's even going on. Kids, I don't even know if his son even knows what he's doing, but who works for him. But I think the biggest thing about Bill is we've said it for years while Tom Brady was here. Every single year we said it. And this has gone out the window now because everyone's pissed off because we're losing. But "In Bill We Trust" was the motto.
Yeah.
You gotta trust him. You gotta think that he's got a plan. Because otherwise you're going to go into this crazy spiral that we're in now, which is, oh my God, we're awful, what do we do?
To close out the segment,
All right.
the Patriots are 1-4, finishing week 5. You're going into week 6 against Las Vegas. You're going to try to win that game because you had to split in these two.
Yeah.
But if you lose it and you go down 1-5 following week 6, where do you go? Are you going to, if you're running the show, are you going down? Are you going for Caleb Williams? Or are you going to try to make a push somehow to be as respectable as you can? I don't know if you're going to make playoffs, but if you don't want to be last.
All right, Spence, what do you think? I'll let you go first.
I very much so feel like there's 2 angles. There's you're feeling like Mac Jones. You really want to get your morale back because you've been broken last season and you need to turn things around now, I feel like, otherwise you're going to be broken forever. Or there's the Bill Belichick, what he's hopefully doing, investing in the future, looking for that young talent, tanking now, going ahead. But, honestly, I feel like the future is the way to go, even though I hate to see it happen to Mac.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you're Bill Belichick and you lose next week, right? You look at this team and What do you do? That's a great question.
You fall to Vegas. You go down 1-5.
You go down 1-5, and you're in a really crappy situation then.
Because then you have Miami and Buffalo after
Which
that.
you're losing both those games.
So you'll be 1-7.
Watch.
That's what you're looking at.
We're gonna win both those games.
Watch it.
Just watch.
Watch it.
At the very least, we'll win the Bills game real hard. And
Somehow,
it'll be
Bills have been kind of ass this year, though.
I know.
Bills have not been good this year.
I feel like the Bills, though, in the
Miami's
past
been
few
pretty
years
good.
have been
Miami's
kryptonite
legit.
is the issue.
Oh yeah.
But Buffalo beat Miami in spectacular fashion,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big win for them.
Which they'll probably beat us.
I think
in
Miami-
spectacular fashion.
Miami's the team I like watching this year. They're fun.
They fixed their weaknesses from last season.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's great.
They can run it.
They're a
and
balanced offense
they can
now.
defend.
Yeah, but they're a win now team.
Oh, they are. Oh, yeah.
Patriots are not.
No.
That's the difference. This is why Bill's not investing in the team, because he's like, I don't know about Mac Jones.
Well, they
I
found
don't know
this
about
kid,
this.
a Kane, that I drafted in free agency off the waiver wire. They found him in the 3rd round.
Saw that.
Yeah, he's like the best running back in the league right now.
Bijan Robinson.
He's got something to say about it, but this kid was drafted in the 3rd round.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All I'm saying, his knee exploded, but hopefully he'll get back in there soon.
You know what happens. But yeah, no. If I'm Bill,
If you lose to Vegas, knowing that you have Miami and Buffalo, is it Zappy Hour? Is it Malik Mania?
I think you keep Mac. I think
Oh,
you
Mac
keep,
in
I
there?
think you
Mac
keep ripping
all
Mac. You have to.
Just the
I
whole
don't think you
season?
have any chance. I
And
think
just
you
see what you
I
try
think
to
you
win
have to
every
rip
game.
Mac every game, and you try to win every game. If you continuously suck,
You suck.
you suck. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But in towards the end of the season, when you're like, all right, well, we're like 3 and God knows what, like 3 and like
3
10.
14.
Yeah, and
Yes.
we're real bad.
Yeah.
Then you just go, you know what? Put Malik in there. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen what Zappy can do. Zappy's a Mac Jr. He's
Yeah.
not that great,
He's not as
Yeah.
but I think Mac is still a good quarterback. I mean, I don't like the... Sometimes Boston fans can piss me off. I am one. I love all of them. But sometimes we're just so passionate that you're like, dude, you're self-destructing your own team. These players hear you, and they see what you're saying about them. I mean, we've seen it in the NBA. We've seen it in NFL. We've probably seen it in hockey. We've definitely seen it in baseball.
Look at
this last year's Red Sox team. I think the fans, I know it sucks. And, like, call out Bill Belichick all you want. It's annoying to me because it's just a bad take, to be honest. But, like, you can't call out your young quarterback because he can't. I don't know if, like, how old is Mac? Like 22?
He's
Somewhere
like
around
no, he's like
I think
my
he's 24 now.
24?
24.
So, imagine being 24 and looking at your phone every day and being like, this guy sucks, get rid of him. Bill Belichick doesn't, I don't even know, because does he have a phone? Who knows?
He's got
Bill
a track
Belichick
phone.
doesn't know or care about what's going on anywhere. So talk about him all you want. But I think throughout Boston sports, we got to be more considerate about our players. And, like, kind of hype them up more when they're not doing well. That's my good field take of the day.
You can go.
All right.
Just don't steer away from that.
Yeah. I feel like with Mac especially, I have to agree. Like, this is a ride or die season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, either you're going through the mud, you're really dragging him along every game, you're just losing and you're proving it to him. You're not the guy. You're just not the guy. Or, as you said, we turn it around and we make it an actual banner comeback here.
Mm-hmm.
Max starts showing up and his morale will come right back.
Mm-hmm.
If we turn the season around and end this season somehow with like 7, 8 wins, maybe 9 wins, that would be a huge morale booster
Oh
for
yeah.
the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it all starts with this week.
Yeah.
And look, this is a huge take. I bash the Philadelphia fans incredibly hard.
Of course.
All the
Yeah.
time.
You have to.
Oh, yeah.
Nemesis material.
Yeah, they
Like,
suck. They're the worst fans ever.
absolutely
Yeah.
hate them.
They're gross.
Hate
But what they did with Trey Turner and the Phillies, the Green Runs Deep equivalent for the Phillies,
Mm-hmm.
told them, because Trey Turner was getting slammed. You know how they are.
Yeah.
He was getting absolutely railed.
Yeah.
he got them to turn it around. He got them to cheer for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he started to hit bombs. He turned it around because the fans started to back him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the power you have as a fan.
Yep.
Is you, like, they're humans.
Yeah.
The athletes are humans.
Yeah.
And you could either just sulk, and I know you invest your time and your energy in the product, and it stinks, just like the Red Sox.
Yep.
But when it comes to what the Philadelphia Philly fans did for Trey Turner, then he built billboards in the city, and he became a great player for them, especially this season. Massive turnaround. He was atrocious.
He's still playing well.
He's still playing well. The Phillies are in a banger matchup. They're gonna lose to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta's got their number, but
besides that,
but that's what I'm calling the New England fans to do. Is I know it's hard. You know, I'm sitting here with you.
yeah, oh yeah, we're there every week going, God damn, what are you doing?
You know,
but
Every week still, I gotta say, I'm still sitting there, I'm going, let's go number 10.
I think
need some yards number 10, but let's go, you got this.
I think, and sometimes calling for change is calling for change, and that's better for the team. But when it comes to the Patriots and tanking, I think it kills the Foxborough culture. And I think culture is way too important to, like, the overall success than your list on the draft board. I think you could find someone on the draft.
We have. Look at Christian Gonzalez
at 17.
Yeah.
You'll find someone.
Honestly, look at Mac Jones.
Doesn't have to be number one.
He fell to us.
Yeah, Mac Jones fell
He was
all the way
supposed to
down.
be top 5.
I think establishing a winning culture and, like, this is how we play. We're not about tanking. Look at Arizona. Train wreck. They're tanking every year. They're going to try to get a third, first-round quarterback in the top 3. There was the kid before Murray, and then there was Murray, and now there's going to be the kid after Murray.
Yeah.
You know, and Carolina's a similar story. The QB carousel never ends once you get on it.
Yeah.
You got to find your guy, and it's not at number 1 all the time.
And you got to stick with them for a couple of years, and that's why I'm saying we should stick with Mac Jones all year and let him play.
Just
and
see
you know
how,
what?
Just try your best.
New England Patriot fans, you heard it here first. Well, maybe not first, but you heard it here. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you heard it here first from the Baystate Sports Podcast.
And A&L Liquors.
Go out, and A&L Liquors, shouts out to our sponsor. Go out, go celebrate Mac Jones. I mean, I know we're not the biggest podcast out there. We don't have the most amount of fans. But all the Baystate Sports Podcast fans out there, when everyone else is booing Mac Jones, get out there and cheer for him. Give him some hope. Give this team some hope. Because you know what? That's what this team needs right now.
Let's go, number
the fans
10.
to support him and them to cheer him on when everyone else is booing. Show up, Baystate Sports fans.
Just try to help them turn around. This is the group you got right now.
Yep.
You know, ride with it. We're going to take another intermission. We're going to fix a green screen. And we'll be right back at you with an A&L sponsored commercial break. We're back. We fixed the green screen. So,
Love being back.
our next team we're going to talk about is the 100-year anniversary Boston Bruins. Coming off of an astronomical failure of epic proportions. Terrible stuff. Losing to the Panthers. I mean, they're a legit club. The big question with the Bruins this season is if they can still make the playoffs after the massive amount of superstar players that they lost in free agency due to the cap space in this NHL season.
Yes.
It feels like losing Tom Brady almost. in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It feels like it, but it also in a weird way feels like this team is somehow still going to be good. I feel like that's always the story with the Bruins, even before we had our, like, this team is never going to lose
the magical run
last year.
Yeah.
I think that this Bruins team, every time you look at it, I mean, right now we're playing the Blackhawks, who just got the number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
Forgot what his name is, but he is a fantastic player. Starting his first game last night, played well last night. But I think that...
And they got Taylor.
Yeah.
They got Taylor Hall in free agency.
Who
in a trade.
Who is literally, I think, the biggest loss. Well, not the biggest loss. There's a lot of other big losses. But
massive one.
In my book, I think he's the biggest loss that this team had, just for depth issues and everything else going on. I mean, like, yeah, you lost Bergeron. That's definitely the biggest loss, right? Like, for team morale, you lost a captain. You lost, like, a 10-year guy. Like, you lost...
20-year guy.
Well, yeah. You lost, like, one of your guys that's been there forever. Like, that's your guy. But I think in the grand scheme, like, you lost... Taylor Hall is a huge depth loss. He's a huge, like... You bring him off the bench and the guy can still score. He came here and became what he was supposed to... Became what he was supposed to be coming out of the draft. I mean, coming out of the draft, he was supposed to be the next greatest player ever. But and he came back here, kind of rejuvenated his career. I'm super bummed about the Taylor Hall loss, but I think that the Bruins feel, and I don't know if this is delusional Boston fan, as I was making fun of the delusional Boston fans before. I don't know if this is delusional Boston fan, but I feel like there's still a way this Bruins team is going to find a way to win.
You have them making the playoffs.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
100%
based off of my delusion, yes.
That's a Boston thing to do, through and through. And I don't think you're wrong for it. To be honest, you don't really have a way to tell what's going to happen this year. Like, while we lost a lot of key players, it doesn't mean we're bad all of a sudden. It just means we've had losses. We'll see how we are now. We could still be a good team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's delusion, but I still look at the best goalie tandem in the league.
Agreed.
In Ullmark and Swayman. I think those two are nails when they're good. And I also think the reason why they rolled with this, now they're tied into the goalies. And I think the only reason they went for it was because teams weren't taking the cheese on Ullmark. Yeah. I kept saying, shop Ullmark, re-sign Bertuzzi, re-sign Taylor.
Yep.
And that never happened. I think people saw...
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, huge loss. Went to Toronto.
Might have been a bigger loss.
In the Atlantic.
Yeah, might have been a bigger loss.
They're in the Atlantic. So Toronto's legit.
Yeah.
Florida's legit. Buffalo got better. I already said Florida. The Atlantic looks pretty deep. But Boston going from the greatest regular season team of all time to missing the playoffs would be unreal to me. I just don't see it. I think keeping the goalie tandem, that is your biggest strength. They're the best tandem in the league. They still have a legit defense.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
McAvoy is going to run that show with Grzelcyk. Those two are legit. You still got Trent Frederick. You still got... You're going to... The whole thing with losing Bergeron is you slot guys up. Charlie Coyle, Pavel Zacha, those guys are going to have to step up.
Which I think they're capable of doing, too.
Yeah.
Like, those guys performed very well for us last year.
Coyle's going to be your first line.
Yeah.
Which is wild. But he's good. And I think same with Pavel Zacha. I'm hoping that he could be like the next guy. And of course, recency bias tells you to look at Matt Poitras. 19 years old. He has 10 games in the NHL for the Bruins to decide whether to hold on to him for the season or to send him back to, I think OHL is like the other league for hockey. It's it's an interesting time because now he's playing. It's not preseason anymore. He's playing legit hockey games that count against legit competition. There's promise in the kid, but is he willing to take up a roster spot? On the third line.
Well, I would say yeah. I mean, it's why not take the risk on the kid? I mean, it's not like you haven't given up like 5-6 players in the off season, so I mean you kind of have the roster space.
Yeah.
But I think at this point in the Bruins, I think it's important for them to start thinking about the future. Based off of what happened in the off season, right?
Yes.
You lost a lot of guys. Not just due to free agency or anything along those lines, but I think you lost a lot of guys also due to age. Not, I think, you did. And Bergeron, perfect example.
Yeah.
You lost him because he's old.
Yep. And Krejci. He's old.
He's old. He's done. And
Marchand's following.
Yeah, Marchand's not far behind them. So
yeah.
I think it's time for this Bruins team to start looking at the future. Do I think that if they make it to the playoffs, it's NHL playoffs.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Look at Florida.
Exactly. Anything can happen. So, you can't... I think the goal for the Bruins, coming out of obviously the goal for any team in the NHL is we're making it to the Stanley Cup this year. We're that good, we can do it. I think every coach in the world is going to come out and say that. Mm-hmm. Because... why set your standards low? In my opinion. Why set your standards lower? Yeah, you might not be the best team. Yeah, you might not have all of the best stars in the league, or you might not be you name the best teams in the league. You might not be them.
Yeah.
But I think that the realistic goal for this Bruins team is make it to playoffs and see what happens. Because every single one of these guys on and off the ice who has that B on their chest knows we're playing for one of the most storied franchises in hockey.
Yep.
And anything can happen in the playoffs. So let's just get there. Let's get there, and when we get there, let's figure it out. And I think this team has the I think it definitely has the capability to get there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's hockey and it's baseball where if you get to the dance, magical things can happen.
Yep.
Yep. And who knows if they have a little bit of that 100-year aura that hits for this team and something clicks and they become a magical team. You still have David Pastrnak.
Oh yeah.
David Pastrnak elite is one of the best players in hockey.
He had the most goals last year in history, right?
Not history, but he hit the 60 mark, 61 total in the league.
That's right. Yeah.
David Pastrnak has MVP candidate potential written all over him. I mean, they're legit studs.
Still
McDavid,
relatively young.
Yes, and he's still young. You don't have the playmaking from Bergeron. The X factor that we didn't get to touch on yet is Brad Marchand being moved to captain. Mm-hmm. I think that brings grit to this club, which is something that they've lacked. If you look to the past, if you look to when they made the Cup, and I think it was 2019, and they lost the Blues, they were finesse heavy. A beautiful show on ice. They were flying down the ice. They were passing it beautifully, scoring. They were just way more talented and very finesse heavy. Mm-hmm. Same thing last season. They won 68 games. As soon as they hit adversity or a little bit of physicality from Matt Tkachuk or those St. Louis Blues, they crumbled, absolutely crumbled in the face of adversity. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that Brad Marchand can bring that grit, because he is a gritty guy. I mean, this guy is always picking fights.
Undersized.
Yep.
And old. Just still picking fights, still getting down and gritty, yeah.
Licking people this guy.
Yeah, the guy's a nut.
This guy is, it's a lot like Marcus Smart or something.
Yeah,
he is bad.
Yeah.
But not a bad player, just like a troublemaker.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that could be what this team needs.
Yeah.
Give him the lead
Yeah.
Let him run it the way he wants to be as the lead captain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that does it for the Bruins and they make the playoffs. At the bottom of the playoffs, definitely, because the Atlantic and the East is legit. They're deep. Tampa, Florida, Buffalo, they're crazy good.
Yeah, you're not going to be at the
New
top
Jersey's
of your
getting better.
division. Yeah, no,
But you're going to squeak into that playoff, and anything can happen once you make it.
especially when you got that grit. I mean, you see it in any team.
Look at Florida.
Look at Florida.
Matt Tkachuk.
Yeah,
What I would do to have him on my team,
Yeah.
my glory.
yeah.
He's a great player, and those Florida Panthers don't go away easily.
No, and they don't give up, and that's the grit in them. So
Yes.
and Marchand never gave up either. I mean, you saw late in the season in the playoffs last year.
Oh my God!
He was the
had
one.
the shot.
I know.
It
I
was
know.
so close.
He should have hit it, but he was the one who came out and was taking those shots. He was the one
Yeah.
who was doing
Got
all
that
that.
breakaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was always that guy that they relied on to be the gritty guy, and now he's going to instill that, hopefully, in the rest of the team. And I think that's another reason onto why, if we make it to the playoffs, which I still think we should, if we make it to the playoffs, then that will help us immensely, like it helped Florida last year.
Yeah. All right. Well, our final team to talk about,
This is like the most positive thing we've talked about all night.
is the Bruins. Yeah.
No, the Celtics. What we're getting up
Oh.
to is about to be the most positive
Okay.
thing we talked about. Although
I'm
Bruins is
very
pretty
happy
positive.
about that.
That was a good
Bruins
Bruins talk.
Yeah.
Our final team we have to talk about is the Mean Green Machine,
That
which is the
is-
next shirt I'm gonna make.
Oh,
Is the Boston Celtics Mean Green Machine that is the death lineup wagon in TD Garden.
Mm-hmm.
There is no team on paper that can compete with this club in my eyes. Anything except for Banner 18 is a failure. They went all in on this season to get it done. They're going to have the core for a long time, but they're not going to have a window like this in a long time.
Exactly. And, you have Damian Lillard coming into the Bucks, and that was a big thing. First of all, let's not even get into that. Let's just talk about what's been going on with the Celtics. Because we haven't done a podcast in a while.
There's
so
a
we
lot
have
to
a
talk
lot
about.
to talk about.
Yep.
Let's start with the trades. We got Kristaps Porzingis, Marcus Smart's out the door. I think we talked about that, didn't we?
No.
We haven't talked about that?
No, we did. We did.
Yeah, okay. So, we talked about that trade. Grant Williams gone.
It happens.
We'll let you say your piece with Grant Williams.
Gotta say, I'll be watching
The
Mavs
president.
games this year.
Number
Maybe
one
they'll
Mavs
be,
fan
maybe
now.
they'll do something, but still rooting for my boys in green over anyone else.
Of course.
Might
I know
start
what I'm
calling
getting
this
you
a
for
Brissett
Christmas.
jersey, but
But, so,
I like the Mavs. Don't worry. I'll root for them.
yeah, we'll root for the Mavs.
I
I'm a
like
big
seeing
Dirk guy.
Irving.
We'll start doing
Coming.
like a little what are the Mavs up to segment on the podcast. Except for Kyrie.
We'll give Spencer
I'll
We
do my
don't
Mav
talk about
recaps.
Kyrie.
Dallas Mav
Yeah.
recaps.
Yeah. Spence does one Mav recap a month.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the boys.
So that was the big one. Was Marcus Smart, Kristaps Porzingis, and then all of a sudden, and to be fair, we already looked like we were dominating the league.
Yeah.
And we looked like we were going to have no competition. And then all of a sudden, when everyone thought Dame Lillard was going to the Heat, boom, goes to the Bucks. All of a sudden, the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the East, is what
Vegas
the
favorite.
professionals thought.
Yep.
So, when Damian Lillard went over to the Bucks, obviously, Portland was asking the world and more for Damian Lillard, as they should, because he's one of the best point guards in the league.
Their franchise cornerstone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they were asking for a lot for him. So who did Milwaukee give up? Drew Holiday and a collection of other guys.
Yeah.
Also, it was a 3-team deal, yeah?
Phoenix.
Phoenix
made
got
out like
involved.
bandits.
Ayton went in there. Phoenix got a
Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
And a couple bench guys too.
Yeah, so Phoenix.
But Drew
looking
Holiday
better.
was the.
Drew Holiday was the centerpiece. So everyone was saying, where is Drew Holiday going to go?
Everyone said Miami again.
Is he going to stay there? And then again, everyone says Miami. Shouts out to the Miami fans. You hate your life right now.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Drew, we support it. Drew Holiday, and shouts out to the Bucks fans who probably also hate their life after this trade. Drew Holiday goes to the Boston Celtics, which, to be fair, I was not expecting this to happen. I was telling everyone, no way they do it. There's only one way to do it. It's Malcolm Brogdon and Rob Williams. Brad was like, you know what?
Bay life.
I'm going to do it. You know what? We're doing it. Gave up Robert Williams. I'm not thrilled about that. We can get into that later. But needed to happen to get the deal done because of salaries and salary matching with the new CBA. You need to match salaries closer than you did before. Used to be within 150%. Now it's within 110%. So it gets close. Blah, 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 blah. Details that no one actually cares about. You had to give up Rob Williams. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No one else fits in that. There's no other way to get the deal done. Blazers get Robert Williams. Right?
Yep. And Malcolm Brogdon.
And Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon.
Likely
Good riddance.
traded.
You did great for us last year. Thank you for your service. Happy to have you off the team. You're injured. You're a mess. I'm sorry. That sucks. Happy you're not on the team. But we get Drew Holiday, which in the first couple of preseason games, Drew Holiday's looking pretty good. Not too thrilled about his postseason numbers. Rob Williams can't stay healthy in the postseason. So that makes you feel a little bit better about giving up Rob Williams. I still think Rob Williams could have been and should have been one of the corner pieces of this Celtics team. Unfortunately, he no longer is. It looks like Drew Carter is filling in for Mike Gorman now on the broadcast, so that's another thing going on with the Celtics.
Dude, it's preseason.
No. Mike Gorman announced he's going to be retiring soon.
After the season.
After the season, but I think they're putting this new guy in to start filling in for Mike.
Try him out
on away games. He'll do
on away games, exactly. But Mike will still do.
But they're going to win 18 for him.
Exactly.
You know?
So, I still think. Let's not even talk about that.
Yeah.
The trade. Thoughts?
I think Drew Holiday, in every single way, represents the future of the Celtics. He is what we both want to invest in for this year to establish 18, start the dynasty off, kick it off, and he also represents what we want in the future. Boston is a very attractive team for other players right now. It's the place to be. Truly, before the Damian Lillard trade, Boston was the one to win. Everyone was saying it. This team is going to be it.
Yeah, after Porzingis trade.
Exactly.
They were a wagon.
After Porzingis, we became a wagon through and through. And then,
he always looked great in the preseason, by the way, Porzingis. It was nothing, but still.
But we became that wagon. And now, since we're like that at this point, players will be attracted. If we get that 18th banner, players are going to be all the more attracted.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think, it was a power struggle in the Eastern Conference. I don't think it even is now. I think you are this is the closest thing to 2008 I've seen when it comes to the talent on a Celtics team. There's been glimpses with the Gordon Hayward experiment and Kyrie Irving. That on paper was absolutely disgusting of how talented they were. Terry Rozier coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Just unheard of. Tatum as the third option. Just crazy. But the big point regarding Drew Holiday and playoff numbers is he was the number 2 option on that team. It was Giannis and Drew, and then you were just hoping that Middleton could close it or figure it out. But Drew Holiday, at the end of the day, had so much on his shoulders to carry an offensive burden and be the best defending guard in the league.
Yeah.
His job, number 1, is to lock up other guards.
On the perimeter, yeah.
On the perimeter.
Perimeter defense.
Whether it's the kid in Cleveland, Mitchell, Garland, whether it's the kid in New York, blanking on his name, or Dayton Lillard.
Brunson.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson or Dame Lillard. Drew Holiday's whole job is him and Marcus Smart are the greatest guard defenders in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Smart's a better passer. Holiday's a better shooter. Marcus Smart is a better loose ball defender, diving playmaker.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday is a better point of attack defender.
Yes.
When it comes to locking up one-on-one, Drew Holiday, unmatched. You put Derek White with him. The whole thing was you had to keep D. White. You have the best defensive backcourt in the league.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You paid a premium price.
Yep.
You gave up a kid that everyone loved. And Robert Williams, the Time Lord, he's been here forever. And that sucks because Portland got a good one. That's for sure. They gave up a good one, but they got a good one.
Yeah.
When the kid is healthy, he jumps out of the gym better than anybody. He is one of the best help defenders
Agreed.
in the paint. The whole thing is his health, and that's why Brad was willing to part, was because he saw the urgency of the club now was, look, we were a lock. They got Dame Lillard. We need to upgrade the perimeter defense. Brogdon's not happy. I got to pull the trigger right now, and he did. And, wow, just the balls on Brad Stevens to make such a play. Because at the end of the day, the fans will be happy if they win the championship.
Oh, yeah.
That's all that matters to them.
Yeah, in reality, too, like, yeah, losing Marcus Smart, my favorite player, it's been said on the podcast many and many a times, losing Marcus Smart sucked. That was awful. Losing Robert Williams in the same offseason really sucked. But at the same time, this team looks good. And you have your wild card in number 11, who just scored again.
Yeah, watch out for most improved and six-man.
Yeah, Peyton Pritchard this upcoming season has been given a big role. He is essentially the backup point guard of this team. Because in my eyes, the starting five is Derek White, Drew Holiday,
Brown,
Tatum, and Porzingis.
Yes.
KP.
Rob comes off the bench. Rob still doesn't... I mean, Al. Excuse me. That's going to take me forever to do. Al comes off the bench.
As big man. And then
as big man.
Bigs.
And then you do double big. And then your point guard filling in... Probably your first sub, honestly, is putting Peyton Pritchard in the game. Before this season was over, Sam Hauser, thank God. He's been having a terrible preseason with shooting. Needed to see one go in. Just saw one go in.
He's about to drop 30.
I'm sorry. Sam Hauser's going off this game.
9 more threes.
But anyway, I in this preseason, Peyton Pritchard is also a huge addition to this team. Because Peyton Pritchard is giving you everything you were lacking last season, which is when, excuse my language, but when shit hit the fan, everyone just went, oh, we're done. Everyone gave up.
Miami.
Or, exactly.
Atlanta.
Miami, Atlanta.
Philly.
We're way better than this team. We don't have to worry about it. All off-season. That was the momentum. And then anytime they had Peyton Pritchard come out with that third or fourth unit at the end of the game, they'd bring it with close.
Yeah.
Because Peyton Pritchard brings that energy. He brings that hustle. He's always out there trying to prove his point. Was that because he's in the contract year?
He's trying to catch his bag.
He has that dog.
But he's got his bag now. Now that he has the bag, he's been dominating preseason.
Oh, yeah.
You can't count preseason as anything, and I hate overreacting over preseason or summer league or anything like that. But Peyton Pritchard has shown all season and all preseason, he is a quality backup point guard, and he has the capability to do it. Will he do it in the regular season? We'll see. I hope so. He's done it before when we've needed him. But Peyton Pritchard, someone to look out for this season.
Back to what you were saying about it being so similar to the 2008 season we had. I feel like another way you could see that is with in practice, we now have veterans showing up to create such a better culture with Paul Pierce, the truth, coming through, talking a lot about how he likes working with Jason Tatum, just getting it to go with the guys. He talks about how when he was working in 2008, this is what happened. He had his own champions come through and talk to him about how it is to win. And I feel like it's a huge thing for developing that dynasty.
Ubuntu is the theme of the 2008 season. It means together. And that's what they always said when I watched my 2008 Celtics documentary. Ubuntu was the theme of the Boston Celtics in 2008. And that is what this team needs to develop. Because on paper, they have the talent. The fan base is starving for the banner. They want it so bad after making the finals once and the ECF 5 times. It's time to get over the hump. Brad Stevens felt the urgency and went all in. I'm very proud of him.
Brad Stevens so far as a GM has been fantastic.
Amazing. The pure opposite of Hein Bloom.
Yes.
Insane.
The pure opposite.
Like if Hein Bloom just went to go talk to Brad Stevens and say, how do I do this? The Red Sox would be phenomenal.
Hein Bloom last season sold Vasquez.
Yeah.
Christian Vasquez, he was like, wait, I can get prospects for Vaz? All right, you're going to Minnesota, kid. And then, Benny Biceps, he's gone. More Winkowski and more prospects.
We didn't re-sign Mookie Betts. Under him.
So that's...
Was that Hein?
That was Hein's first job, was to trade Mookie. Now, the ownership made him do it because they weren't going to pay him.
Yeah.
But you could have got more than Verdugo and... like 2 other players Verdugo, Wong, and another player that you don't have anymore because he's bad.
Yeah.
You could have got more for that, for like the greatest outfielder you've had in a long time, cornerstone.
But on that note,
We're going to do a little
we'll be right back again.
little green screen. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back post green screen. So, I know, a lot of technical difficulties today.
Don't worry, new podcast studio coming soon, hopefully.
As we've been saying
As
for
we've
the
been saying
last
for the
year.
last year and a half.
I'm excited. I know everyone else is excited.
Anyways, when it comes to the Celtics, they went all in to win 18 this season.
Yep.
That is the bar for them, at least for me, and for most fans, I believe, is anything except for the championship would be a failure. I know if you lose to Denver in 7, I'll bite my tongue. I'll be like, wish I could have got it, but that's really close. Denver's a legit club.
But I think we can beat Denver.
I think you're good enough.
I think you have enough to
we-
beat Denver.
I mean, you got White and you got
My biggest issue is who can you throw at
Jokic.
Because all of our centers are going to get bullied.
Well,
our starting centers are going to get
We
bullied.
used to have a really good option.
The way you
Taking
beat
care of big
Jokic.
That would be Grant Williams.
The way
he's
you
referring to.
the way you beat Jokic is you take out everyone around him.
Yeah, the same way you beat Giannis.
Same way you beat Giannis. I mean, they'll drop 45,
Yeah.
but they're not going to win.
No.
Because
you can't win by yourself.
No,
Yeah.
you can't. And especially if you shoot the lights out, like they're going to try to do.
The Celtics have always been a team.
And
Not a
if you, I mean, they have the best defenders
Analysis.
to take out everyone around Jokic to the point where I'm not afraid of any team.
No.
They're the prohibitive favorites.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm glad we're all on the same page.
Same page?
It's 18.
18 or bust.
Let's do it, boys. Our final thing we're going to talk about is the America's Dream Team rebuild.
Not quite Baystate Sports, but America's team, which is Baystate Sports.
And I love America, and I love basketball.
Yeah. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Spence, you can lead us off.
Yeah, light us up, buddy.
There's tons of talk this year about it. I mean, way back when, Dream Team. They're the Dream Team for a reason. You got Michael Jordan. You got Magic Johnson.
Larry.
You got Larry. You got players that are crazy. But this year, we're presenting with a very similar roster. Well, we have LeBron.
Embiid.
Curry.
We have Curry.
I think Embiid's coming off the bench. No, Embiid
I think
is...
Embiid's a starter. Embiid's a starter.
He's got
Is he playing for America?
Yes.
Embiid is playing for America.
Embiid came out saying he's going to play for America.
Yep.
That's wild to me.
Yes. Because
Okay.
he's also a citizen in France,
Yeah.
so he could play with Wemby.
It is
And France is really good too.
In his home country of Cameroon.
Yeah, Cameroon is who I thought that
And he said, "I'm going to play for America."
Yep.
That's wild.
He's a tri-citizen.
And
a real
just trying
American.
to join a super team.
Yeah, yeah.
He's on the wagon.
Because
He's on the
God
wagon.
forbid he's never going to get that in Philly.
Yes.
He'll get it in Boston when he eventually comes
But he'll
here,
get a
that's
gold
way to
medal
take.
playing for under Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you got Tatum, who's the best small forward in the league,
Yep.
going to be challenging for MVP this season.
Yep.
And then you got LeBron, Curry.
Yep.
Dynasty players.
I mean,
Probably Dame.
I think the big thing was the comments from that kid, who's an NBA player, for the FIBA basketball, and he's like, when people win the NBA championship, they call it the World Championship, and they shouldn't, because
Was that Dylan Brooks?
no,
Did he say
it
that?
wasn't Brooks. It was this other kid
That
that
kid's a moron.
tried stirring the pot, and I was like,
God.
brother, we don't have the best American players playing right now in FIBA, you know?
Yeah, like
it
we have the junior league playing.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
it was like the B team. It was the kid in Minnesota,
It was the rookie NBA
Richardson.
rookie team.
right? I don't know.
Goddamn, Peyton Pritchard was playing for that
Yeah,
team.
legit. It was all rookies, and then this kid's like, "Well, this is why you shouldn't call it the NBA World Championship." And then LeBron's sitting there like,
Hold on, let me cook. Hang on.
What did you say?
Let me
What
make
did he
some
say?
calls.
You want to see it?
Let me make some calls.
And then Steph Curry's like, "You want to see it, or?" Like,
Someone.
this is where the best basketball is in the whole world.
And I took
That's
that
true.
personally.
Yeah,
That's what LeBron said.
And I took that personally.
Jordan's gonna come out of retirement and just play like 5 minutes.
I mean, he'd smoke all these guys.
Zombie Kobe's gonna come out of nowhere. Rest in peace, Kobe. I didn't make
the Euro-
joke, but still.
The EuroLeague hype is a little over the top.
It's definitely over the top.
I mean, I know the refs are soft here, and it kills all the fans. Like, we hate it.
Yeah, we don't like it either.
But when it comes to talent,
oh, it's unmatched.
come on.
We're the best.
Come on.
There's a reason why we've been dominating the Olympics.
Yeah.
FIBA at this point for us, like no
Dude, it's
one's
not-
gonna put their best players out there for FIBA. I
No.
mean, besides the Knicks, but the Knicks are dumb, so whatever. But like Jalen Brunson, I don't even know if he should have been there.
Yeah.
All the young kids, like Peyton Pritchard, should have been there because he's Peyton Pritchard and he's trying to get his minutes, and clearly it did well for him. Sam Hauser,
Dude, Durant, give it to Durant and
He just got a
Tatum.
huge defensive play too.
Durant,
That's crazy.
Tatum, and Lillard all won the gold medal like the year before,
Mhm.
you know? And then this kid's coming out saying, I can't wait to find the quote and who it was, because what a clown. Get ready. Buckle up. They're coming.
oh,
and they're
they
going
are going to
wipe the floor.
destroy that team.
to, like, mop
I would say,
the rest of the world.
I would say
that's
what
why
they're
they
actually
call
going
it.
to do, but that's PG. That's rated R.
That's why they call it America versus the world.
Yep.
When you get these matchups,
Mhm.
whether it's basketball, I mean hockey, there's legit like competition outside of America.
Yeah,
there's
like
legit competition in
Russia,
Scandinavia,
Canada.
yeah, all the Scandinavian, like all
'Cause
that.
that's where most of them come from.
Yes.
Anyway. So yeah.
But when it comes to America and like football,
Football, they don't even play football
no, they don't.
against anyone else.
No, but like track, you know,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
dominate that all
boxing.
the time. Dominate.
This is where champions are made. Like,
Yeah.
This is good old
There's
Stars
a
and
reason
Stripes.
why the entire world comes here to compete at the highest level, and I cannot wait for that team.
Oh,
That
I can't wait.
This year USA team
Just demolishes.
Wipe the floor.
demolish.
Just wipe the floor.
That's like the best team I've seen in my lifetime.
It is going to be United States takes over Europe.
That's why Joel Embiid joined
round
it.
2. Yeah,
He's
he was
afraid.
like, yeah, I can't not.
Curry, LeBron, Tatum.
It's not
But,
worth
like-
facing all at once.
What?
Think of this team, right? So what's your starting lineup? Curry's the point guard.
Yeah.
LeBron's the 2. Or
I think LeBron runs a 3, Tatum at the 4, KD
who's
at the 2.
KD's at the 2.
Yeah,
That's
K-
insane.
we didn't bring
That's
up KD.
insane.
KD at the 2. You got
Steph-
Kyrie coming off the bench.
Steph and KD
Yeah.
who have played together already.
And then Embiid at the
and
5.
won championships together. LeBron James, who
Has
is
5
the
or
greatest
4 championships.
the greatest player who is currently playing right now.
Yeah.
The most accolades.
The most accolades, the most everything. The greatest career in player that is playing
In 6 years,
right
maybe
now.
not. But
Give Tatum some time.
Just give me I know. I'm just saying right now. Right now, LeBron James is the greatest player this league has seen that can play in this World Cup. Yes, we can all agree.
In the
Olympics. Yes. And then you have Embiid, Jason Tatum, who's
at the 4,
who's
gonna be the MVP
debatably one of the best players. I don't know if you can debate even if he's the best player in his position because he clearly is.
Small forward, no.
Yeah, no, he's the greatest
No
player
one
in
can
small
float.
forward. And then you have Embiid, who, but beyond Jokic, he's not gonna play for Team USA.
No, he won't.
He doesn't even like being here half the time.
Yeah.
He just makes his money and goes home
And wins championships.
and wins championships.
Yeah,
And it's
so-
like, oh, that was
And then
fun.
goes
I'm gonna
Going
go home.
now.
Parties.
What are you thinking of?
hangs
I'm
out
gonna
with
go
his
home.
horses.
He literally came out.
He's a jockey, yeah.
He came out this offseason and was like, they were like, was that the greatest summer you've ever had? He's like, oh, definitely not. He's like, definitely not the greatest summer I've ever had. He's like, the parade was a very fun time, but definitely not the greatest summer I've ever had. And he goes, now I gotta go back to work. The guy's literally just here to work, which is so America.
Dude,
but anyway,
he is such a.
I love him.
He's such a
the
good
Bill
player.
Belichick of basketball, but he's playing.
But he's playing. He is one of a kind.
You can't hate Jokic. You
No,
just can't.
No, and he's wicked talented.
And he's-
supremely talented.
He's like, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of...
He's the only player that can compete with Tatum for MVP.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And like, you would say, oh, well, yeah, this guy. No, it's Tatum and Jokic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Embiid, he's
Sympathy
really...
vote.
He's really good,
Last
but I
season.
still don't think he should ever win MVP.
It was
because his
sympathy
team doesn't
vote.
win!
Yeah.
His
You
team
gotta put
doesn't get
together.
close to winning.
Dude, they've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
gone out of the second round.
This is why Jokic keeps
In the
winning
Embiid
MVP
era,
over Embiid.
they have
is because,
never gotten out of the second round.
Yeah, it's just stupid. But anyhow,
Anyhow.
this dream team is going to be gross. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
It's gonna be
100%.
the greatest dream team since the last dream team.
Yes. Yes.
And
It's Jordan.
Debatably better.
Yeah, it's close.
I feel
very-
like
it's very
the
close.
talk is that we are surpassing. I feel like
I think we're.
I mean, we'll see what it looks
We'll
like.
see.
Yeah. Okay.
you have issues in that you don't have two main
It could.
players,
It could be
but
the greatest dream team.
It has the
Ever.
potential, yeah.
Could be
Yes.
because they're all really good.
And they're now.
And now they're
they're
hungry because
hungry.
some random kid pissed them off.
yeah.
He's an NBA player, but I think he plays for Canada. Or, like, he's a Canadian citizen.
Oh.
But
That
he
makes no sense.
set the world on fire, and he's going to get ready to feel the reckoning.
That's it. We're invading Canada.
Anyways, gentlemen, I think it's been a fine podcast.
Yeah.
Great podcast.
I want to say
Thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.
It's always nice to be back on.
It's been a pleasure. Now, we have a whole link tree. So, that's in the Instagram description. We'll try to, feed it around. But on there, you can find the blog. You can find Apple Podcasts. You can find Spotify.
Read the blog. It's got
The blog's good.
What, daily?
We're coming up
How
on
often?
50 blogs.
Yeah, that's insane.
49.
A
So,
lot of great content.
Tons
great
to catch
blogs,
up on.
Read that.
yes. So if you need something to read, there it is. And then the Twitter, the Instagram, all that is there. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Shouts out A&L Liquors.
A&L Liquors. Try to get you some merch. Try to set it up. That'll be nice. Thank you for watching episode 23 of the Baystate Sports Podcast. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
That was good.
Nothing
Cool.
like